No president, academy, court of law, Congress, or Senate on this earth has the knowledge or power to decide what will be the knowledge of tomorrow. Think about that for just a second. Who actually gets to draw the lines around what we call reality? Who tells us what's possible and what isn't? Because if you look at history, those boundaries are constantly shifting. What we once thought was just empty space is actually bursting with forces we just haven't learned how to see yet.
Welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we're going to be pulling back the curtain on some incredible stuff. We're talking hidden dimensions, unseen energies, and these totally invisible webs that are operating right under our noses literally every single second of the day. Our focus today, the secret world existing around you. So let's just dive right in.
Section 1. The Illusion of Reality. Okay, before we go any further, I want you to do me a quick favor. Just take your eyes off the screen for a brief moment and look around the room you're sitting in. Look at that empty space between you and the closest wall. Is it really empty? Or is it possible that your eyes are just totally missing a vast, bustling universe happening right in front of your face? To wrap our heads around this, we have to contrast our everyday physical space, the world of tables, chairs, the air we breathe, with the esoteric concept of overlapping dimensional channels. It's a total mind-bender. Basically, the idea is that these alternate worlds, or parallel universes, they aren't some faraway galaxy. They are occupying the exact same physical space we are right now. Think of the universe like a giant television set. We are currently tuned into just one channel, but there are countless other channels broadcasting all around us, right in your room. We just don't pick them up because they're operating on entirely different frequencies that our physical eyes and standard instruments just aren't built to tune into.
And honestly, that brings us to a pretty humbling realization. We live in a selection, not the fullness of all possible realities. You see, our deep minds act like incredibly strict editors. Over millennia, human consciousness has basically learned to filter out all that overwhelming noise from those hidden channels. It selectively feeds our conscious minds only the sensory information we absolutely need to survive, and frankly, what we already expect to see. We have literally built this comfortable, narrow little reality out of our own beliefs, and along the way, we've kind of forgotten that it's just a heavily edited slice of a much larger, much wilder existence.
Section 2. The Fragile Web of Life. So the invisible biological and spiritual structures holding our carefully edited world together, they are incredibly delicate. Our sources describe how all creatures are sustained in this vast web of mutual dependence. It's this profound idea where the end of one becomes the life of another. The gift of one is the sustaining of many. The big takeaway here is that this tangible, physical world we feel so incredibly confident in is actually pretty precarious. We exist in this extremely fragile biological and spiritual web, miraculously suspended, right between the totally unknowable, terrifying expanse of the cosmos above us and the impenetrable, fiery depths of the earth below.
And since ancient times, human beings have instinctively tried to map out this terrifying vertical reality. Cross-culturally, you'll almost always find this archaic threefold division of the universe. Sitting right in the middle, you have the human world, that's us, filled with the plants and animals we interact with every day. Above us is the sky realm, which is the domain of the sun, storms, gods, and beings of light. And then right below us lies the underworld, a place of dark caverns, deep oceans, ancestral spirits, and darker entities. Ancient humanity absolutely understood that they were sandwiched right between these massive unseen forces.
We also see this idea conceptualized beautifully in traditional religious frameworks. For instance, in Islamic philosophy, there's this fascinating concept called al-Ghayb. Essentially, it translates to the greater unknown. It acknowledges this impenetrable, overarching mystery that functions far, far beyond the physical realms of our existence. It's situated both above the highest firmament and way beneath the deepest layers of our earthly reality. It really is the ultimate acknowledgement of all those unseen channels operating completely beyond our edited perception.
Section 3. Exploring the Inner Dimension.
Now, to truly explore those outer hidden realms, esoteric traditions argue that we first have to take a deep dive right into the microcosm of our own minds. And man, this brings us to one of the most awe-inspiring ideas we're going to cover today. If the universe, or even just the Earth, is viewed as a single vast living being, then every single organism inside it is just a different part of a multi-personal self. Looking at it through this mystical biological lens, your interaction with a tree, a pet dog, or a total stranger on the street, it's literally just the universe communicating with itself. It's self-communicating with self. It completely shatters the artificial limits we put on our own identities and suggests our consciousness extends way, way beyond our physical bodies.
Let's break down exactly how this mental filter mechanism actually works. Think of your mind as an active ecosystem. First, your conscious mind forms expectations and beliefs based on pleasure, pain, and your daily habits. Second, your deep subconscious receives all of this constant feedback. And third, that deep mind takes all that data and literally conjures up a highly convincing, totally tailor-made illusion of reality for you to live inside. You are essentially a master magician, constantly generating the very world you believe to be completely real, totally unaware of the magic you're performing every second. But there is a hard limit to this psychological ecosystem. Esoteric systems of magic, like Enochian yoga, describe this truly formidable boundary called the abyss. It's often referred to as the Great Ring Pass Knot. This is the ultimate barrier separating our comfortable, constructed human reality from the raw, unedited spiritual realms. And the normal, rational human mind, it just cannot cross it. The text suggests that only the absolute deepest, hidden spark of divinity within a person, like a spiritual counterpart, can actually survive the passage across this terrifying void to experience what is waiting on the other side.
Section 4. Realms Beyond the Veil.
So what exactly does lie on the other side? Well, when we shift our focus outward and consult some pretty obscure grimoires, like the infamous Codex Gigas, that attempt the incredibly dangerous work of mapping these hidden realms, we find these bizarre, almost grotesque depictions of entities. These beings inhabit what the texts call the subtle realm. Let me tell you, if you were to cross over, you wouldn't be stepping into some sunny paradise. At first glance, the subtle realm kind of mimics our own world. You'd see things that look like forests, plains, and mountains, but it's an eerie, shadow-covered mirror. The landscape is entirely drained of life and color. The air is described as pungent and sulfurous. The sky is perpetually locked in this crepuscular twilight with absolutely no sun or moon, and the waters, they are as thick and black as tar. And navigating this space is incredibly perilous. The horrifying, towering monstrosities guarding this space are referred to in the deep texts as trolls. But forget about internet trolls or the cute fairy tale creatures we joke about today. No, these are ancient, majestic, and truly terrifying guardians. They literally stand watch over these invisible stairs, tunnels made of pure darkness, and these massive fog bridges that connect all the various fragmented levels of this great unknown. Furthermore, the geography in this hidden world does not work anything like ours. You can throw out your compass. It's not about north, south, east, or west. It is entirely about proximity and depth. What they call the surface refers to any region that basks in the blazing light of a dimensional gate, basically the doorways that bleed into our reality. But the further away you walk from that light, the deeper you sink. The depth refers to the totally unfathomable lower layers, ruled by dark princes, where the landscape loses all connection to known human shapes and geometry completely breaks down into something entirely alien. And honestly, perhaps the most unsettling detail from our sources is the inescapable, rapid decay of the landscape. This hidden channel is in a state of terrifying, constant flux. Observers who have claimed to visit this realm report watching entire mountain ranges literally crumble to dust in the span of just months. They've seen massive valleys shatter open in seconds and huge oceans dry out into dusty, empty deserts in the absolute blink of an eye. The reality bubbling right beneath our reality is violently, eternally unstable.
Which brings us right back full circle. I want you to look away from your screen one last time and just gaze into the empty space of the room around you right now. Knowing what you now know about the frequencies our brains filter out, the fragile biological web we're dangling from, and the volatile, shadow realms pressing right up against our existence, what unseen channels might you be sharing your space with at this very moment? The world is vastly more mysterious than we allow ourselves to believe. Keep questioning what you see. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we continue to decode the fascinating source materials of our reality.